We have read this passage from Mark Gospel 8. Mark has got 16 chapters, and we have come in the middle of the Mark. Now, all along these many past chapters, Jesus did many miracles. He showed power over sickness and diseases. He showed power over unclean spirits, Satan, evil spirits. He showed power over nature. He walked on the water. He rebuked the wind and the storm. They stopped. He also showed power that he has power forgiving sins of the people. He has power to forgive the sins of the people. Now, after 8 chapters, after almost half through this gospel, Jesus is asking his disciples, who do people say that I am? Now, the disciples answered very beautifully. They said, you are one among the big names. You are John the Baptist. You are the Elijah. That's what people are saying. Yes, they rightly said so, because Jesus' teaching, Jesus' preaching is exactly like John the Baptist. Without any fear, John preached. Jesus also preached without any fear, called people for repentance. Yes, you are like Elijah. True, Elijah performed many miracles, and Jesus also performed many miracles. So when they said you are one among the big names, that's the right answer. People understand Jesus. People know Jesus as one among the great people. Now, Jesus asked this question. Why did he ask? Is it a publicity stunt? A celebrity once went to a restaurant. He felt that he was not respected. He was not treated well by the waiter. So he shouted at him and said, do you know who I am? What do you think about me? Who am I? Do you know? So he said, nothing doing. I want your manager to come to me. So this poor waiter went to the manager and said, somebody is shouting. I really do not know who he is. Why don't you come and attend to him? So the manager rushed to him, and this celebrity again shouted at him, who do you think I am? What do you think about me? Do you know who I am? The manager did not give any attention to him, but this celebrity kept on shouting. But then the manager clapped his hands and drew the attention of everyone in the restaurant and said, can anyone help him? He doesn't know who he is. A publicity stunt. I don't think Jesus is doing here that. He wants the disciples to genuinely know him, who he is, genuinely know him who he is. So Jesus asked another question. Who do you say that I am? Are you considering me as one among the big names? So Peter came out strongly and said, you are bigger than all these people. You are one in kind. You are greater than all. Your name is high above all names. You are the Messiah. This is the first time a disciple acknowledged Jesus as Messiah. This is the first time a disciple said, Jesus, your name is above all names. Jesus was very pleased with this statement. Immediately, Jesus said, look, you have to keep it secret. You cannot go and say this loudly to people. Why did he say that? He wanted people to know who he is. But the moment they recognized him, he wanted to keep it secret. He wanted the disciples to keep it low. Why? It is all because all along these many past 700 years, the people of Israel were looking for a Messiah. They had a Messiah in their mind. We did not have good leaders in this past 700 years. The Messiah would come. He will take a political step. He will be a political Messiah. He will be a military Messiah. He will lead from the front and chase out these foreign rulers from our land. He will recover Israel's independence. That's what they were looking for. But this Messiah has not come to do that. So he wanted to keep it low. He wanted his disciples to keep this a secret. John mentions this when Jesus performed the miracle of feeding more than 5,000 people. These people came in big number to make him king. Jesus withdrew from the crowd and went away. Now Jesus is opening himself. Now he is talking plainly. What is he talking is that, look, this Messiah is going to suffer in the hands of the chief priests, the elders, the scribes. He will be killed. On the third day, he rise again. So Jesus is now openly talking about what would happen to him. The Messiah that you are thinking is not what I am. I am going to suffer. I am going to go through pain and sorrow. So he openly said this to his disciples. The leader whom you are following is a different kind. He is going to go through trouble in his life. From now on, Jesus at least said 3 times about his death to his disciples. From chapter 8 onwards, Jesus is preparing his disciples to receive him as a suffering Messiah. And we see him, his death on the cross. So when we look at Mark Gospel, Mark asks 3 important questions. Number 1 question is, who is Jesus? He is Christ. He is the Messiah, the one above all names. The second question he asks to his readers is this: what did he come to do? What did he come to do? He came to serve, to suffer, and to die on the cross. And the third question is, what does he ask his disciples to do? That's what I thought should be our focus in our meditation this morning. Jesus immediately said, of course, Peter had a problem. Peter did not want a suffering Messiah. He did not want Jesus to go through the suffering. So he said, it should not happen to you, Jesus. Jesus rebuked him and said, get behind me, Satan. If any want to follow me, they should deny themselves, take up their cross and follow me. If any, a very clear invitation to all. Anyone can be my follower. If any want to follow me, they should deny themselves, take up the cross and follow me. Jesus puts it in bold letters. When we go to some market, some mall, there we see items for sale. When you look at the item, you are fascinated, you are attracted to it. But when you look for the price is put in the small font. You are not able to read. Probably they will give only the barcode. You have to take it and find out. They don't want you to see the price. They want you to like the product. Then you will somehow buy it. But Jesus is not doing that. He's putting this in bold letters, big font. If any want to follow me, deny yourself, take up the cross and follow me. Now, self-denial and bearing the cross or cross-bearing both go hand in hand. Both are important. You deny yourself and then you take up your cross. Self-denial means what? We have our own understanding on self-denial. We think that giving up ice cream during Lenten season is self-denial. Someone said this is a delayed gratification. You delay your crave for ice cream, delayed gratification. That's not self-denial. We say that self-denial means you don't allow yourself to be treated well. You don't allow yourself to go through pleasures of life on this earth. You had to go for an ascetic life, withdraw from the world and live in a deserted place, in a lonely place. I don't think so. If that is the case, Jesus should have not performed any miracle all along these past 8 chapters. He healed the sick. He came as the true Messiah, rescuing people from the bondage of sin, bondage of sickness. So that's not the way we should understand self-denial. That means I would not allow any pleasure to myself. No, that's not what Jesus meant here. Sometimes when we talk about self-denial, we think that it is only meant for people like Mother Teresa or people like big followers of Jesus, big names. No, that's not the way it is. This particular call has come to all of us, all who are present here. Deny yourself, take up the cross. This is for all of us. Now, how do we know that self-denial? How do we know that what is self-denial? I think Peter is teaching us what is self-denial. That's what Mark in his gospel very beautifully presented Peter to us. Peter is opposite to what is a self-denial. He denied Jesus 3 times. He was a bad model. He was not the right model for self-denial. Look at him and learn from him. In fact, he wanted to reject the suffering Messiah. He said, Jesus, this cannot happen to you. We have been thinking about you as a great Messiah, a great leader, one in kind, who will come with all power to thrash out the enemies. That's what we were thinking. Now you say that you are going to go and suffer under these leaders. Why you should do that? See, in other words, self-denial means you deny yourself and identify with Jesus. That's what self-denial and carrying the cross. You deny yourself, but you identify with Jesus. Peter was not able to identify with Jesus. He said, nothing doing, this should not happen to you. If you look at Mark Gospel, Peter denied Jesus 3 times at Garden of Gethsemane. 3 times he denied Jesus. If you look at all 3 times, it's very beautifully recorded by Mark. First time, a maid servant came to Peter and said, you are one among them. This was a private conversation. You are one among them. Immediately Peter said, no, I'm not one among them. He denied, saying that he was not part of Jesus. The first thing that happened in him is that he denied Jesus in him. Within him, he denied Jesus. I don't need Jesus. I disown him. But on the same night before they came to Gethsemane, he told Jesus very clearly, even if I have to die for you, I will not disown you. But now, within himself, he first denied Jesus. The second occasion, the same maidservant in a group of people came to him and said, look, this man, she addressed to the group of people there, look, this man, he is a Galilean, he was with Jesus. Second time again, he denied. He denied saying that, no, I was not part of that group. In other words, the second time he disowned Jesus and his group. I am not part of Jesus' group. I am not part of anything that he has done in this world. I am away from him. That's the second way he denied himself. The third time, a group of people recognized him, and then he, in front of them, he not only denied Jesus, but he started cursing and taking oath. Now, people knew that he's from Galilee. The world knows that he was part of Jesus, but in the front of the world, he's saying that I'm not part of Jesus. Denying first within himself, denying Jesus of what he has done in his life, and he's denying Jesus that he has got no connection whatsoever with him in the world. One by one, he slowly signed off from Jesus. Jesus is saying that is what giving yourself to the world. That is against what is called self-denial. You deny yourself and identify with Christ crucified. Paul puts it in his own way. How does he put it? I have been crucified with Christ. No longer I live, but Christ lives with me. Yes, I denied myself. I gave myself to Jesus. Now the Christ crucified lives in me. Now, someone said like this, you do not understand Christ unless you understand the cross. You do not understand Christ unless you understand the cross. If you want to follow him, you have to identify with him, and you have to identify the Christ crucified. That's where we have life. Out of him, we have no life. May the dear Lord bless us all. Amen.